Hi, welcome back to our crafty chat with Ali from Kids Chaos.
Yes, that's me.
And Maggie from Red Tail Art. And today we're going to talk pom-poms. Yes, as you can see, we are pom-pom mad here at the moment. It's one of those, pom-poms are one of those things, I think you start them and then you can't stop.
I know, my kids love them.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And what I particularly love about pom-poms, and I'll show you this one because that's what I'm talking about, is you can make it with any odds and sods. These pom-poms were made, we went to a fair recently and we received a sample of wool, and it was literally pieces of wool this long, and it was really soft and fluffy, and I just thought,
lovely wool.
Yeah.
What can you do with it?
What do you do with a sample other than choose the wool you want to purchase? And from the sample, we made these really sweet rainbow pom-poms, aren't they? So the lovely thing about pom-poms is you can use odds and sods. I mean, like you're saying, job lot from the charity shop, and you can make, you know, a nice garland.
Well, we used, as well as wool, we've used fabric as well. We took an old t-shirt and cut it up into slices.
Really lovely.
And it made a really nice pom-pom.
And you can experiment. I mean, you can try, see what happens when you use string. There's different textures, different... and you could probably do it with plastic bags, cut them into strips. So the lovely thing about pom-poms is, yes, obviously buy some pretty colours, but also use what you've got, use the leftovers, especially when crafting with kids.
Yeah, but you're saying use what you've got. That's the other thing we should mention, is that you don't have to have a pom-pom maker. If you don't have one, you can go down the traditional route. So Maggie will demonstrate here. So
there's lots of different ways of making pom-poms. This is the most traditional. This is the one I used to use when I was a child. The good old circular bits of card. And basically, this little strip, Ali was saying, oh, well, I didn't used to do that. In the old days, you used to push it through, and take forever to make one pom-pom. But if you cut a little strip, if I hit this wall now, it just makes it a little bit easier to kind of, because you can just wrap it around like that. So it does make it a bit quicker.
It's coming clear.
Exactly, especially with kids. And when you're using cardboard, it's, you know, a lot of people, you need two pieces. And the reason you use two is because later when you have to trim, you'll see it when I do my demo, you'll trim your wool and then you have to tie a knot to hold it all together. So that's why there's two pieces of card. Speaking of cards, did you know you didn't need a circular piece? You can do it with two pieces of rectangle.
How would that work, Maggie?
How would that work? Well, it's actually
nice
very
cards.
Yes, you recognise them. Can you see the big words, Ali? Actually, using cards is very similar to your fork technique. In essence, you're putting one strip of one piece of wool across, which you then later use for tying. And then you just wrap like this. Like mad. It makes a really big pom-pom that needs a bit of trimming afterwards.
I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, it does work really well, and it's good for young kids because they don't have to fiddle. They can just do this constantly.
My kids couldn't believe that you could actually, you know, having
gone
gone down this
how do you do the
traditional route with the cardboard, you know, that's what they're used to. I said you could make it on a fork, so I'm not going to show you now. I'll show you another time.
Well, you can use forks, and similarly you can use your fingers. So there's lots of ways to make pom-poms, but I have to confess, even though there's all these wonderful ways of making pom-poms, my favourite method is still the old pom-pom maker. It's just, they're so, especially for children, they're so easy to use. And we'll show you in a minute what we've been making using the pom-pom maker. But some ideas. So very quickly, because it's autumn as we're shooting this, we made a little pom-pom bat. Now they're really easy to do. You make your pom-pom and then literally with some PVA glue, either felt, funky foam, card, I literally cut out little wing shapes and then put loads of glue in it, opened the pom-pom up and went sort of squished it in and then let it dry, and then that's how you make these really easy.
Too cute.
It's so easy, and very similarly you've got little spider. So this is Halloweeny, but also it's little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet.
So much better than my spider.
Eating her
when we made our spiders, we used the kind of, I don't know what the wool is, where it's got kind of bits on it.
Oh, so we've got the texture.
And we used those for the legs.
Oh, they look lovely. And then with this one, all I did was once the pom-pom was made, and I added a long piece of string when we knotted it, I shoved in very carefully some pipe cleaners. And the reason I say carefully is when you're pushing them in, it's easy to push out all your little pom-pom strands. So just gently put one in, and when you've got one in, it's easier to put the other ones in. So that's the only thing you have to take care when making a pom-pom. The
orange is great.
And then when you start getting adventurous, you can start making cute little guys like this. And when I say adventurous, it's all you have to do to make a little hedgehog is you take your pom-pom maker. You have one section that's going to be cream, and the rest is brown, and in fact I actually went over the cream as well once I'd done it. Cut it, you know, I think I had to knot the string up here because the face was going to be here. And then once you've got your pom-pom, you know, some pom-poms look a bit like this when they come out, a bit sort of fluffy and stuff. You just trim it. So I just flatten the bottom and I give it a tiny bit of a face, but not even that much. I mean, if you look at it there, it's only a little bit of a little nose, and very simple. And then stuck on again PVA glue, just to, you know, to get the little face on it, and very simple. You know, a lot simpler to make than you think.
Yeah, I saw some amazing alphabets.
Oh,
so you know, 26 of them.
Yes, I did see. I made a pom-pom with a letter in it. Can you believe it? I mean, that's being clever, isn't it?
That's
very clever. Right, so today's craft. We're going to show you how to make a basic pom-pom using the pom-pom maker, but it's the same for the circular one, so don't worry if you haven't got one. And then look, you can make this. This is going to be for Pipsqueak, a little scarf, pom-pom scarf.
Gorgeous.
And the best bit about this scarf is I didn't actually sew. You didn't have to use a needle to sew it all together. Actually, there's a little clever tying technique you can do, which we'll show. And then you can make a scarf. So it's great fun for kids.
Hello.
Isn't it soft?
Yes,
Daddy?
it's very soft. Lovely.
Anyway,
nice
so,
colours.
lots of rambling. Let's get on with it. Right, so now how to use a pom-pom maker. So the pom-pom makers tend to look something like this. They've got two parts that you have to open together, like that, or like that. And then you basically have to wrap wool round each side, and I'll show you what you do next. So on this one, I've already started one side just to save a little bit of time, but basically I've opened it up like this. I've wrapped wool around here and closed it, and now I'm going to show you how I wrap the wool around the other one. So you get your wool, get your pom-pom maker, and then you just, the first bit's always a tiny bit tricky. So when my children do this, who are 4 and 6, I usually just start them off so that they've got the wool in place where it belongs. And then all you do is just you wrap it round and round and round. I'm going to turn it around a bit, sorry, because it's a bit quicker this side, like that. And then just keep going. Make sure you go right up to the edge, because then you get a nice even pom-pom. You can trim a pom-pom afterwards, and to be honest, I do normally trim it afterwards as well. But for the scarf, you don't really have to trim them, because you'll just want this big, fluffy, cosy scarf. So there we go. So I've made it nice and fat. Like that. Close it. So you see, I just went like this, and I give it a little trim, like that, and you've got your pom-pom maker should look like that. Now you take your scissors and you have to cut along here. So when we talked about the paper ones earlier on, you have to cut between the two pieces of card. And to be honest, it's straightforward, but it is a little bit, you know, it can be fiddly. And the thing is, I use these little nail scissors that I've bought especially for crafting, because they tend to have a little sharper tip, and it's easier often to cut just with a tip. So I think having little nail scissors or sewing scissors for a job like this is really handy. But I use these scissors for all sorts, so, and not just sewing scissors or wool scissors. Now it's really important that you get them all, because if you leave one little strand like that one, it can mess up your whole pom-pom. Because if you have one strand left, you can't tie them properly afterwards. So you can see.
I'm definitely investing in some of those scissors.
Oh, they're good. I mean, they're just from the local, you know, high street pharmacy, to be honest. Then you take another piece of string, so from the same wool, or you can use a different colour actually if you want. And like with a spider, for example, I had it hanging, so I just use a really long piece. But for this, I only need a sort of a medium piece. Push it round, turn it, and then literally, you've got like that, you tie a little knot. And the thing is, you have to do it twice, especially when you're doing it with children. Children always think if they've done one, it's enough, but you've got to do it twice to make sure it's, you know, knotted properly, like that.
And tight.
And tight, exactly. Nice and tight is really important. Then you just cut the end off. And now comes the magic. This is the bit my kids love best. They always go, "Can I do it, Mummy?" Yes, of course, it's your pom-pom. You open it up, like that, so you can really see the pom-pom. You open this side, like that.
I was thinking it looks so perfect like that.
It does, doesn't it? And then you come out and then it's all fluffy. There you go. And this is the point where you would trim it. But I think because I've got it on my scarf, it doesn't matter so much. So this is the no-sew scarf idea.
This is genius.
It is good, isn't it? So I'm going to take, so this is the bits of wool left over from the last one. Now all you do is you knot them together using the leftover bits of string, like that. So you can't see it so well because the knot's actually now where we're not looking. And to be honest, I just do it a couple of times just to make sure it's really safe, like that. And another one. And then, so you go, fair enough, yeah, I get that bit, but how do I do the next one? Aha, here's the genius bit. Because with a pom-pom, to be honest, all you've done is tied a knot, you know, a piece of string around to sort of hold it in place. You can just take these two loose strands, very gently pop them round to the front like this, and you just knot them again.
Who knew?
Exactly, and all you're doing effectively is tying another pom-pom knot. And then, you know, if you find it sort of got some caught, you can just fluff it out a bit so that nothing's been caught in there. And now your nice bit of string is around the front. So now I take the next colour, this one, and again you just tie it together. So I love this idea because it is no sew as such, and some people really like it when they don't have to do any sewing. Obviously you could sew these really easily. You just take one long piece of wool or string or something strong, and you literally just run it through the whole lot. So again, I'm going to show you quickly, and then I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I think we're done with our pom-pom pom-pom video. So again, just very gently knot it this side, fluff it up a bit, make sure there's sort of nothing stuck, and then you take the next one and tie it on like that.
What are you putting on the end of that?
Wow, it's funny you should ask, Ali. Not that I've obviously primed your horse. On this one, we talked earlier on about a recycled wool. We just thought it'd be fun to
so those are just offcuts of
offcuts of wool,
right.
Exactly. And we're going to just for a little ending and that there. But I think I might still need a few more pom-poms. I need to try it out on Pip's this week and see that it's nice and long enough, and it'll be one of her birthday presents. Now, very quickly, and then we're done. Ali just wanted to point out how easy it was to make the garland that you saw earlier on. Actually, you probably can't see it now. Literally, she made her set of pom-poms. She had this lovely little bit of sort of garden twine, and I think the sort of contrast of the rusticness and the sort of soft pom-pom works really well. All you do is tie it around, little knot. You can do a double knot, single knot. I think let's do a double knot, and then trim it, and you're done. And the nice thing about this is, once you've got all of them on, if you suddenly find, oh, actually the space is a bit longer, you can just push them all along.
Yeah, which
often
I find.
Yeah. Or also, if you get bored of them, not that you would ever feel bored of a pom-pom, you just take it off, wrap it onto a present, and then you've got a lovely little decor. Or actually, sorry, I've got to do this as well. Look at this. Little pom-pom ring.
Delightful.
Isn't that sweet?
One for every